What's up, everybody? Welcome to Make More Marbles. My name is Brad Hart, and today we have a very special guest, Mr. Chris Chandler-Yates. What's up, Chris? How you doing today?
I'm good, man. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy
Happy
2024.
2024, everybody. Very
Yeah,
exciting
boy.
news all
Yeah.
around. Jazz and I are getting
Yeah.
married tomorrow.
Ooh, tomorrow.
Yep, we're doing a little.
Congratulations, man.
Yes, that's exciting. Not to
Yeah.
steal the show or anything, but I wanted to make that announcement, so that's very
Let's steal
exciting.
the show with that one, man. Steal
Yeah,
the
yeah.
show with
Our actual wedding is in March, but we're doing the whole courthouse thing tomorrow, so that's exciting. And
That's
yeah,
awesome.
so we're gonna be married.
Perfect. I love it. I love it, man.
I have to change my Facebook
So
status. I'm off
yeah,
the market, ladies.
you're gonna change it. You're definitely off the market. You're done. You're dusted,
That's
and you're
it.
all Jasmine's. Now Jasmine can slap you around more
Yeah, exactly.
or start one of two.
Luckily, I haven't been slapped around by her lately.
No, no, definitely not. Definitely
So,
not.
so yeah, Chris, we were doing our calls today. We do our mastermind calls every Wednesday for real estate group, which is the Spartans, which we're raising money for real estate deals, multifamily, 100 unit plus. So that's one thing we do. And then we have our BAM call, which is build a mastermind, which is how Chris and I got together originally. He's been in it for 5 years. The program's great. We're kind of catching up on Mastermind Million stuff, which is our event that we run 2-3 times a year with Jay Fazette. And another one coming up in January. If you want to grab tickets to that, we're doing a 2-for-1 where you can go to the January virtual and the May in person. You can go to mastermindtomillions.live if you want to check that out, mastermindtomillions.live. But Chris brought up a really great point. He's like, I really want to riff on a theme here that's really changing my life, and I want everybody to really underscore. And when you go into a new year, you're thinking about goals. What do you want to leave behind? What do you want to keep? And without further ado, I'd like to just let Chris kind of riff on that, and I'll chime in and pipe in if I feel like I should.
Yeah, man. No, I was thinking about this yesterday. My wife and I were actually at the gym where, New Year, we go to the gym. I was thinking about, I've been to the gym. I've been training, and I know, like you, Brad, training's just part of our life. If we don't do it, we kind of feel weird. But you see all these new people in the gym that are like, hey, they're all in there, this New Year's resolution. They want to get into it. And you see this every January for about the first 2 weeks, and then you start to see them fall off, and you see more and more and more. And by the end of January, definitely by the end of February, there's only a couple of them left that you see. And we see the same thing in business. And, me being an ex-cop, not a business guy, I didn't come into the world going, hey, I'm going to do business. Yes, my parents did business, but you see this as well in business. People come in, and we see this in the mastermind stuff as well. Like, I've been with you since you started this back in 2019, this Build a Mastermind. And you see this as well with people, and you see them come in and they're like, yeah, full force. And then you see them kind of fall off. And we have a really good attrition, a really good hold rate because of the way that, that you'd run things and the support around everything. But you still see people at about 4 weeks, they start to fall off, and we've got to grab them and pull them back in.
Yeah. And I think
And
this
I
happens
just
to
want,
everybody, to be fair, right? It's
it
like,
does.
especially when you're going from 0 to 1, right? That's the hardest part. When you get from 0 to 1, you get your
So
first
hard.
client. Everything is way easier after that, but you really got to get over that hurdle. And that's the hardest hurdle for people because they have a million reasons why not, right? And they have a million things that are distracting them, and they have a million uncomfortable conversations going on in their brain. And yeah, so how did you overcome that, Chris?
Well, I wanted to go into that. The thing that I did the very first time is, I remember you and I having this conversation, didn't have the money. I was literally I was making per month. Yeah, I was making like nothing. And so I literally did it. I signed up. My wife was like, how are we going to pay for this? I was like, I'm going to make the money. But I came into it with the mindset of this is not a temporary thing. I'm going into business and I'm making this work, and I'm going to make it work for a long time. And I've ran the same mastermind for 5 years now, and I've just closed it down the end of 2023.
Yeah. And you had 650 clients, I think?
632 clients go through it.
632 clients. Did you ever think that would be possible when you first started?
No, I never thought I'd impact directly, like me to them directly, 600 people.
And I just want to point out, it's not apples to apples, but I haven't had 632 clients in the last 5 years. They're a lot higher price point clients. We charge a lot more, quite a bit more, but
Quite a
it's
bit.
not the point. I'm just saying it's like the sheer volume this man has put out and the people he's helped is kind of amazing, right?
And I still get messages like, during that time I had people that didn't go through my course, but I used the same stuff that I was learning and teaching in the mastermind. I was teaching out for free on my social media. And I had people reaching out to me going, man, you changed my life. Thanks for what you're doing. Keep doing it. I've gotten into the police now because of the stuff that I've read on your stuff or the conversation that we had, which aren't even clients. So, you could boost that number probably to 1,000 of the people that are directly impacted or that have done things.
Yeah.
But the way that I did it was not, I'm going into this as a New Year's resolution. This isn't a temporary thing. I'm impacting lives for life.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody else to go through the pain that I did. I don't want to be in this spot anymore, and I'm not ever going to be here again.
Yeah. That's so powerful. You know, when I first started, I just said to myself, like, I'm either going to keep going or I'm going to die. Like one of the two. Either I'm going to keep going till I have success or I'm going to die. And if I die, who cares? I'm dead.
Yeah.
Or I
And don't
succeed.
get me wrong,
It's
there
crazy
have been
what happens.
days. Yeah, exactly. Don't get me wrong. There have been days where I'm just like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I have the same thing with training. There's days or there's week. I've had a week before where it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. And this is the power of being part of a community.
Mm.
Is me as a fitness person, fitness coach, being in fitness my life. I use so fitness wise, I'll lean on my wife, I'll lean on friends, I'll lean on my past history and my past accomplishments. I'll also even lean on clients of mine that I've trained in fitness before. I'll be like, I'm having a crap day. And they'll be like, dude, what the hell? Like, carry it on. Now, when it comes to business, why do you think I'm still hanging around with you, Brad? I'll come to Brad or I'll come to my other mentors or I'll come to friends that are in business and I'll be like, I'm done with this. I'm over it. I'm out. And they'll be like, no, you won't.
Well, it's just like anything, right? Any habit that you introduce in your life, like healthy eating or working out or getting good sleep or like we all do things in our life that when they first started, they were hard to stick to. And now we kind of got them on autopilot. And like you said, you even feel weird when you don't do them. And business is just that kind of thing. It's like once you get past the hard part, which is like the first couple months, years, whatever it is, some people take to it faster than others. Once you get past that, you never have to go through that again. You just have to be able to roll with the punches and pivot and do what you got to do to stay on track. And if you just stay consistent, like for all the energy you're putting into not doing the thing, what if you just did the thing? It doesn't require all of your attention, although it would help. Like you don't have to go full Elon Musk and spend every waking hour and make everybody around you insane for 30 years, right? But you can, or you could do somewhere in the middle and you'll probably get some decent results. If you just put consistency behind it and patience behind it, you'd be shocked what you can do in 5 years or 10 years. I mean, look what Chris has accomplished. And he, like you said, he was a cop. He wasn't a business person. You know anything about marketing or sales. We taught him everything he needed to know. And once he got some traction, it was game on. Luckily, he stumbled into a niche that was requiring
Yeah.
his services, right? There has to be demand from the marketplace. You know, you can make the best offer in the world to somebody who's not in the market, and that's not going to be a yes, right? But if you can match up desire and demand with your offering and do that well and then just stay at it, like it's relatively boring. Like the hard parts are in the beginning, figuring out where your little fit, your little niches. But after that, it's like there's so many people lined up to that need your help. They just are.
Yeah. And it's, once you get past and then you once you get past those first initial that one, and then once you get to the 10, you now have proof in the
Mhm.
concept. You can just lean back on it every single time.
And it's just
You know,
rinse and repeat at that point.
it is.
I mean,
It
has your
literally
strategy really changed from zero to from like 10 to 600? No, it
no,
hasn't changed much.
no,
It's crazy when
it
you
was
think about it. It's like you rinse and repeat it.
there'd be times where I try and reinvent the wheel and try and change it. Everything would fall over and fall apart. I'd be like, what am I doing wrong? Oh, wait a second. I need to go back to. I mean, I literally remember being at Mastermind to Millions, and I was struggling with Motorcycle Mastermind, which we're now doing again in September. Uh, and I was launching it, and I'm sitting at Mastermind to Millions, going, I need to fill this. I need to get spots because things just weren't working. And then I'm sitting there, and you talked about market research again, and I sat there and I went, ah, crap.
I remember. I remember that.
I
I
came
remember
up
that
to you
exact
after I got on
response.
stage. I was like, oh, crap. And you go, what? And I go, I haven't done enough market research on people that want to like grow themselves, their businesses, and like motorcycles. And you're like,
Exactly. And you think it's going to be easy rinse and repeat because you figured out one niche, right? You know how to speak to one demographic and you know how to, sell that offer. And then you're like, oh, this is easy. I'm going to do it over here. It's like, no, it's actually way harder. This is why I'm kind of dubious
it's
when
way
people
harder because I constantly took all the stuff from my other niche, which was aspiring police officers which struggle with motivation and confidence.
Mm.
And I was still talking the same to people that were wanted to ride motorcycles and tour around and not have to think about anything for a week. and grow their business and their mindset and themselves. I was
Yeah.
like,
Totally
but
different
it's
niche,
not the
totally
same. The
different.
language isn't the same.
Yeah, well, and you know this, like you've like you said, you've had people in your life or in business, you've had successful, people who are successful in your life. Like you've had some really good role models. And even on the motorcycle, I won't blow up your spot, but like we had somebody really famous on the trip, and it was really cool to like see how they approach things. And like if you were to speak the same language to the prospective cops as you were to that person, no way, no how. There's just no way that person's gonna respond to that. So it's like you got to know your audience individually and as a mass group, right? And you got to stick to what you know. And once you find it, like that's the hardest part. Going 0 to 1, getting somebody to pay you for something is the hardest part. And then after that, it's like, okay, now I'm a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And you iterate and you iterate and you iterate. And you just, if you look at Apple today as the most valuable company in the world, and you're like, I want to get into the computer industry and make computers, you'd be like, there's no fucking way. There's no way. I can never compete with Apple. And that's not the point. You're not trying to compete with Apple. You're trying to compete with what's a way I can break into the market right now, like Apple did in the 70s. They did it 40 freaking years ago with a
But
motherboard that looked kind of shitty, and it didn't even have like a mouse. It didn't have it didn't have a keyboard. It was just like a pile of soldered on,
plastic.
yeah, plastic with like it wasn't even like housed in anything. And that was revolutionary at the time. They sold a bunch of them, but they broke in, and then they got better and better and iterated over 40
Coming
years.
back to that as well, back to the mindset of the what it takes in 20, as you said, the one thing to take you in 2024 or 2054 when it comes to building a business or a mastermind, as we like to talk about, is it's that mindset. Steve Jobs didn't go into it and go, I'll see what happens.
Hmm.
He went into it on, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to build the best computer. I can't remember. He talks about it. There is a thing where he says exactly what he thought and what
Yeah.
he wanted to create in the very beginning. It's that drive, and that's what you focus on
Yeah.
every single day, in the hard and the good. When things are going really well, you push it even harder. When things aren't going well, you use it to bring yourself back up and get that momentum back up.
That's it. And here, gang, if you're already on track, this is not for you. This is for the people who are like, hey, I'm going into 24. I'm gonna, like I said, make a New Year's resolution. I'm gonna get my goals. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Shift that mindset to what do I want in my life? I don't care how long it takes, but what do I really want in my life? Like before I die. Like just expand the timeline here for a second. What am I committed to having in my life before I die? Is it a better network? Is it more success? Is it a business? Whatever it is. We like masterminds because they add value to your life in a lot of different ways. The relationships you build with masterminds will serve you for the rest of your life no matter what you do. I'm already starting off where I left off, getting into any new thing I do because I already have the network built. I've dug the well before I was thirsty. So now if I'm doing real estate deals, I have hundreds of people I can call and be like, "Hey, I'm doing real estate deals now." Right? And they already know me, they already like me, they already trust me, and they already want to do business with me. And maybe we've even done business before. Right? So you build it once and it's built. It's the same thing with an audience. We got 30,000 people actively that read our email. Now, hundreds of thousands of people have cycled through and a lot of unsubscribed, and it's been many years. But like 30,000 people I can reach out to with a touch of a button that know me enough to open my emails in the last 90 days and have gotten some value or they would have unsubscribed. Right. So that's something like that's a beginning of a conversation. So if I pivot and I say, hey, I want to do X, Y, and Z, I'm trying to start a comedy career, or I'm going to go make music, or I'm going
They'll
to
come
do
listen.
real estate. Yeah. I'm just be like, hey, something crazy, totally off topic. If you're into this, cool. And a certain portion of them, I'm not saying all of them, but a certain portion of them are be like, oh, that's cool, Brad. And I'd like to support you. Versus if you have nobody, it's hard to launch anything. Right. When you have an audience, when you have people who know, like, and trust you, when you have relationships, you can launch anything. At least get started, at least get feedback, at least get on the right track, or at least get connected to somebody who can get you on the right track.
But again,
So
you have to focus on that thing of I'm doing this for, I want this in my life. I
yeah,
want this in my life forever.
I was always
You know,
clear that I wanted to know a lot of people. I wanted friends all
yeah,
over the world, even before I knew what that looked like.
mine was never that. I wanted it. I wanted to save people. That's why I became a cop.
Yeah.
I wanted to create less pain.
And you
And so
did.
I did tons of that. I've done tons of that over all my years as a cop and also running masterminds. And I'm still doing it. Here I'm doing it with all the different masterminds, and I'll create another offer of another big mastermind. I already know it's going to happen. It's just finding the right thing that I want to spend that time and I want to be in my life forever. You know, these 630 people that I have served over the last 5 years will be in my life in some capacity or another, whether I'm talking to cops or I'm talking to business people.
Yeah.
They'll be there. I'll always support them. I'll always have their back as they know. And so this is the thing. What do you want in your life for 2024? You know, what do you want in your life moving forward from 2024 and all the way through your life continuously? Because that there is what you will continue to work on.
Yeah.
If you don't put that stone, that anchor in the ground, you'll be one of those gym goers that's done in a month.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't have to be fully fleshed out. You don't need to know the
Oh,
whole picture in 30 years, what it's going to look like. Cause I didn't, when I
oh,
started on this journey years ago, I didn't really know. I just kind of had this vague concept of like, I want friends wherever I go. That's random, right? But it kind of built into like, I'm the mastermind guy. I travel the world. I speak, I talk to people. Anywhere I go, I can kind of plug into a network. Any city I go to in the world, I probably know somebody. That's pretty awesome,
that is
you
pretty
know?
awesome.
And at 8 years old or whatever, I wouldn't have ever guessed that. But now I'm 38 and here it is, right? So it could take a while and I'm just getting started, right? So, in the next 30 years, it's going to exponentially increase.
Just
And
grab
I know,
something.
like, as technology progresses, dude, like, some things aren't going to change. Some things are definitely going to change. Robotics and AI are going to change a lot of things. But what's not going to change is people are going to want to be in community. People are going to want to be in relationship with each other, and people are going to want to live somewhere. So, like,
Connection.
I'm putting my effort into things that are not going to change.
Yeah. People, number one thing is massive connection is a huge one. And this kind of leads us back into full circle of what I was talking about in the beginning. No, like have that thing that you're willing to, die on the railroad tracks for, whatever that little thing is,
Like
that
moose
little
and
tiny
squirrel.
thing. Yeah, that moose and squirrel. But what is that little tiny thing that what's that little thing that you're like, hey, I love this and I'm gonna die for it and start to actually work on it? You can create a mastermind about it,
Mm.
but then have that community around you of people that actually kind of share your vision as well.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
the cool
why
part.
how
You
many
can get
times,
paid to
Brad,
do that thing you love by bringing other
exactly.
people in that want to do that.
How many times did I come to you and tell you I wanted to close down my aspiring police mastermind? And then what, a month later, I started back up again?
There you go.
Because it was the people that I was with, that I was helping, that I was serving. I would every time I look forward to those mastermind calls because I have fun with them.
Yeah. Why I'm
And
still
so
doing
you
band
have that
5 years
community
later.
around you. And they keep you on track. And this kind of I'm gonna do a pitch out to the Mastermind of Millions, which is coming up in January. Amazing. You learn all the information. And then if you want a community around you, there's obviously the thing that I joined up to 5 years ago that's got me to where I am now, 630 direct contact helping people
And P.S.
build
It's
a
way
mastermind.
better now. And we got all
It's
Jay's
way,
stuff
and
too.
it is,
We
yeah,
got the
it
whole
is way
event. Like
better.
when Chris joined, it was in beta mode, which is like, it was
When
okay.
I
It wasn't
joined, we got
wrong.
new information every single week. We would get new information, and then we'd have to go away for the week and do it. And but it's gone through what, three iterations since then.
Yeah, it's
You
like we're basically in 3.0 now in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And like the content's better, the learning's better, everything like how to do it is better. It's really gotten honed in. It's amazing. And I know right now, Brad, the 2024, you and I were talking about it, and you just kind of have decided what you want to help 10 people directly, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. So we have only a certain amount of capacity. The reason I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people at this point with this very directly, right? But there's a capacity issue is that I'm one guy and I've got a lot of projects. This is kind of like the consistent thing I do that, it's not super sexy up and down. It's just very consistent. It's kind of boring and safe and I know it really well and I help people do it. And it's not like the sexiest niche. Like not everybody's jumping over themselves to build a mastermind, but the people who are, I can't think of a better resource than Jay, myself, and Chris. Like it's three generations of people who know this stuff, have been doing it for over 50 years. I've been at it for more than 10 years. And, the issue is I have capacity, right? I have a certain number of people I can really help at any given time. That capacity was tested last year with this new event, bringing in 25 people at a time. It was a lot of work to like get everybody on board and on track. And what in a month, that like first month was kind of the max of my capacity. I'd love to have like 10 people at a time. That's a nice chunk I can manage. And we've got space right now for 10 people at this time, right? And it'll clear up again probably next quarter where we can really just focus in and drill in and help you go through the program and make sure you get your beta launched and within 60 days earn between, let's say, 10 and 50K. Now, I'm not saying you can't earn more and you might not earn anything, right? I'm not making any guarantees here. I'm just saying that people like you who have started with, at least a head on their shoulders and the desire and work ethic to learn and to do the thing have gotten insane results. People like, Corby. Unfortunately, Corby passed away, but in the first 3 weeks he worked with us, he made 350 grand. Ali in 4 months, he made $400,000. I mean, Sabo in 6 months made $250,000. Sonia closed.
I'll go to the other end of the spectrum
Yeah,
where I was starting out from dead scratch. Literally, all I was doing was I was doing personal training in a gym, and I was talking to like maybe about 5 people around and doing some like $20 a week online thing. And I think it was 3 weeks or less. It was under a month. I made 6K
yeah.
on my beta offer.
There you go. Simple. I mean, is that life-changing money for everybody? No, but that was certainly life-changing for Chris. It was more than he
Life
needed to
changing
get
for me.
to show himself that like, holy shit, I can do this and there's demand
Yeah.
here.
My biggest month in the first 8 months was 15K, and 2 weeks of it, you and I were on a motorcycle trip.
There you go. Not too shabby. Yeah, I remember you showing me your stats while we were
Yeah, we were
flying.
on the trip, and I'm sitting there complaining about money, and you're like, "Show me what you made this month." And I was like, "Oh, wait a second, I've done 15K this month, and we're not even done yet."
And it's funny how fast you forget, like, leveling up and your standards go up and all that. And it's like, your expenses go up. And like I had to have
Yeah.
a real conversation with myself this year. It's like, oh, I'm burning 35 grand a month that I don't need to be burning. And maybe I should cut some of this, and
And then there's the scarcity thing, like that I was in. I was in that scarcity of like I have to be making. If I'm not making sales, I'm not making money. I'm like,
yeah.
wait a second, there's money coming into the bank.
Yeah, which is it's again, it's appropriate. Like for if you're making 200 grand a month and you're spending 35, that's amazing. That's super efficient. If you're making 70 grand and you're spending half of it, that
Yeah,
starts to be dicey, right? If it's less, then right?
yeah.
Profit is a theory, cash is reality. So yeah, just again, wherever you're at, wherever you're looking to go, the long and short of it is this: if you are committed to having better relationships, more impact income, more impact, and adding, 5, 6, 7 figures to your bottom line. Like I've had clients that kicked ass like Chris right out of the gate. I've had some a little bit of a slower burn. I've had some that, I helped them get their first 15, 20 clients, and now they're making millions with their mastermind. Like it can go all the way. And we have people with longevity too. It's recurring revenue. Like Jay has a client who went to the original mastermind of millions almost 10 years ago. So for 9 years, she's had a mastermind. And not only that, like 7 of those people that originally joined in that 9 years have been paying her every year for 9 years. That's nuts. Like that's
That
not
is
a normal
nuts.
result. I'm giving some specific case studies and examples, but like this is a model that once you get it right, it can become like a family. People get these results and relationships that can last a lifetime, and they'll keep paying you to be a part of it. It's pretty cool. So
Yeah, it is
don't
pretty cool.
don't limit yourself and your possibilities. If you have a mastermind in you, if you have an idea for one, if you think this is something you want to do, why wait? I don't know if I'm going to be doing this forever. I don't know if we're going to be doing this forever. But right now, as far as I'm aware, we're the best qualified to teach you this. We have the most experience. We've done it the most number of times. We've helped the most number of people do this, and we do it on a very like we're very consistent. I just want to say that. Like I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but like how many calls have I missed for BAM in the last 5 years, Chris? Two?
I think like maybe three
And I've covered them all, and it's
or
been like
four, and either
like weeks before, I'm gonna miss it. Like if I'm not gonna be
yeah,
literally on the grid, like we're in New Zealand or something, like that's
yeah.
the only
Like
time I miss.
there was the two motorcycle trips, and then I think there's been
And
once
Burning
where
Man,
you were sick or some, Burning Man, and then there's once that you were sick or something.
and you covered, or somebody covered.
Yeah, and I covered.
Yeah, so like we're very consistent, gang. We're here to support you every single Wednesday. You can set your watch to it. We start exactly at 1 o'clock Pacific time every week. You can
Yeah,
go on your own pace and do the program. I get back to you in 24 hours with any questions. If you have, market research you want to review, if you have sales calls you want to review, if you're not sure what's going on with your sales and market research, your funnel, your pipeline management, your lead gen, your offer, any of that stuff that people get stuck on, like that's part of the whole thing. That's what we do every single week. We just work on those little pieces. We help you kind of overcome any challenges that you're doing. We get you to a place where it's like, okay, I know what to do. And I do 1 to 3 action items a week for each person. And we keep them cranking, and you just chip away at it bit by bit by bit. And some people move really fast, as I mentioned. Some people take a little more time. Some people are starting from dead scratch and they got to build it, right? And that would be true whether they're building this business or any other business. If you're starting completely from zero, which everybody started from zero, it just takes longer. But if you have any kind of network authority influence built up, this is a great way to tap into that and kick ass. So again, I'm not going to beat this to death. If you want to have a chat with Chris, I highly encourage you to do that. Reach out to him. He's Chris Chandler-Yates on Facebook. He'll be in this post and tagged as well. So have a conversation with Chris. And if you're like, hey, I just want to see what it's all about and test it out, we have a really killer 2-for-1 deal going on Mastermind of Millions right now. You go to mastermindofmillions.live. You can get the virtual event in January 22nd to 25th, and then the in-person event May 30th through June 2nd. I'm this close to locking down venues. We're really getting close, but we're not quite there yet. But it'll be somewhere in the Southwestern United States. We're aiming for San Diego, but it'll be probably San Diego, Phoenix, or Vegas. One of those 3 cities. Anyway, that's my spiel.
All that is in the comments down below.
Thank you. And you tagged yourself, which is perfect.
I tagged myself.
See,
Yeah.
look at that. I love when a plan comes together.
I did the comments, so of course I'm tagged.
Because I was making a mental note. Got to make sure I tag Chris when I'm done speaking.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. And, I just want to, again, I say it all the time. Thanks, Brad, for all that you're doing for myself, for everybody with this, because it is impacting. It's not just about the money. The money is great and it allows you to impact more people, but it's the impact.
You can't do it sustainably if you don't make money. That's not going to work.
No, exactly. And, the $600 people that I've helped directly, I know would thank you as well.
And that's the cool part. This is why I do it. That's 600 people that got help that I would never be able to help because I'm not a cop. I don't know what they need to do.
Yeah.
Run faster, jump higher, shoot better. I don't know. Like, what the hell would I do? But by helping Chris, I helped 600 people. And I don't even know like how many clients have my clients had at this point. It's got to be tens of thousands. I don't know. It's up there.
Lots.
It's a lot. It's awesome. So don't ever underestimate. Like again, I didn't start this yesterday. I've been at it a while, but don't underestimate the impact you can have if you just start and stick with it. If anybody's wondering, I'm doing a gua sho tool, which is my collarbones, like these little tendons get tight and if you're ever having pain, this is totally random. If you're ever having pain in your trapezius or your neck muscles or any of that, if you unlock these little tendons in here, that's all this is. It's just a little piece of ivory, jade, whatever, that you unlock these and it totally helps. Like if I'm on a plane and my head is jacked up, my neck is jacked up, I'll do this and it loosens everything up. It just gives you more space. I don't know if you knew about this, Chris, but it's a game changer.
I didn't know about that one. I know like that little tool is like doing what they call scraping along the, and it breaks up the fasciitis underneath the skin in between the skin and the muscle.
Same principle. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, same thing. It just kind of loosens it up so tendons and muscles, fibers, and everything can move around easier.
Anyway, so that's a little bonus tip for you guys. You can get one of these for $5 on Amazon. Gua sho tool. I don't know how do you say it exactly? Gua sho. Anyway, I love you guys. Happy 2024. I love you, man. Thank you for being on here. Thank you, Chris, for making me do a live. I'm usually wiped at the end of these days.
Yeah, we haven't done many in a while, but this is the thing. Is
the new year? Get back on track, baby. Let's go.
New year, get onto it, make it work, help out more people, and
get married tomorrow. So that's exciting.
And you get married tomorrow, man. Congratulations! I'm glad that I know that because now you're gonna get my singing. You're gonna get my singing in an audio message, bro.
I look forward to it. This is why I do things. This is so that you can sing to me in audio messages.
I shouldn't quit my day job, should I?
All right, everybody. Much love. Reach out to Chris if you have questions or you want to get in board. Mastermindofmillions.live for tickets. 2-for-1 deal going on right now. And yeah, be there with us. Let's kick ass. 2024. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, guys.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Have a good one.